The Arctic wind howled like a ghostly whisper, rattling across the endless expanse of ice and snow. A mother polar bear, Nanuq, her thick white fur dusted with frost, sniffed the air. Something was wrong. The snow beneath her paws trembled, not from the usual shifting ice, but from something far more dangerous. An avalanche was coming. Her two cubs, only a few months old, tumbled in the snow nearby, oblivious to the impending disaster. Nanuq's heart pounded. She had to act, fast. Just hours earlier, the world had been peaceful. Nanuq had led her cubs, Siku and Atka, across the frozen tundra in search of food. The Arctic was their home, vast and unforgiving, but she had survived its challenges before. She knew every ridge, every hidden crevice in the ice, and every snowdrift that concealed danger. The cubs had been playing near a steep mountainside, rolling and nipping at each other, their fur stark against the crystalline snow. It was their first winter, and every new discovery, every scent, every gust of wind filled them with boundless excitement. But nature was unpredictable, and in the Arctic, it never forgave mistakes. Nanuq's sharp ears picked up a deep, distant rumble. It was subtle at first, like the growl of an approaching storm. But as the seconds passed, it grew louder. The ground beneath her trembled. The mountain was collapsing. She whipped her head toward her cubs. They were still playing, unaware that a tidal wave of snow and ice was thundering down toward them. Instinct took over. With a deep, guttural roar, she charged toward her cubs, barreling through the deep snow. "Move!" her body language screamed. Siku and Atka froze, sensing their mother's urgency. But it was already too late. A wall of white roared down the mountain, a churning beast of ice and destruction. Trees snapped like twigs. The air filled with a deafening roar as the avalanche consumed everything in its path. Nanuq had one chance: run or be buried alive. The mother bear shoved her cubs forward, using her massive paws to propel them through the snow. The avalanche was closing in, swallowing the ground behind them. Nanuq could feel the icy breath of destruction at her back, pushing her forward with an urgency she had never felt before. The cubs, panicked, stumbled and slid as they scrambled to keep up. Nanuq grabbed Atka by the scruff of his neck and flung him forward, anything to give him a head start. She couldn't afford to slow down. The slope ahead dipped suddenly. A hidden crevasse in the ice. Nanuq made a split-second decision. It was their only hope. She leapt, landing inside the deep trench and shielding her cubs with her enormous body as the avalanche crashed overhead. Snow filled the air, blocking out the sun. For a moment, everything went silent. The weight of the avalanche settled around them, plunging them into total darkness. The world was still, too still. Nanuq's breath came in quick, short bursts. She shifted, testing the weight of the snow above her. It was compact, heavy, but not impossible to escape. The cubs whimpered, frightened and cold. She nudged them reassuringly, then began digging with powerful swipes of her paws. She had to move fast, before the snow hardened into ice, before the air ran out. Her claws sliced through the frozen layers, carving a tunnel upward. Snow collapsed around her shoulders, but she kept digging, pushing, clawing for life. After what felt like an eternity, a sliver of light broke through. Nanuq roared, forcing her way up and out of the snow. They were alive. The avalanche had transformed the landscape into a graveyard of ice. Trees were flattened, the ground was unrecognizable, and the mountain's face had been scraped raw. Nanuq pulled her cubs from the trench, shaking the snow from their fur. They were weak, trembling, but alive. That was all that mattered. She lifted her nose to the wind, searching for any sign of food, shelter, anything that could help them survive the next brutal hours. Then she saw it. A massive ice sheet had cracked open nearby, revealing a dark, glistening hole in the ice. A seal den. Food. Survival. She turned to her cubs, nudging them forward. They had escaped death, but the Arctic was not done testing them. Survival was a battle that never ended, and Nanuq was ready to fight. Nature is ruthless, but it also rewards those who fight. Nanuq and her cubs had stared death in the face and lived to see another day. But in the Arctic, survival isn't just about one victory. It's about the next, and the next. Because out here, in the land of ice and shadow, only the strongest endure.